What if your next illness wasn't a surprise, but something already predicted days, months, or even years before it hit your body? Imagine a world where your phone, your watch, or even a simple scan could warn you before your body breaks down. Not after the pain, not after the diagnosis, but before it even begins. This isn't science fiction anymore, it's the rise of artificial intelligence in healthcare. AI is learning to detect patterns in your heartbeat, sleep, blood, and behavior that even doctors might miss. It's not just about treating disease anymore, it's about stopping it before it starts. And once you understand the shift, you'll never look at your health the same way again. AI early disease prediction is changing everything we thought we knew about medicine and the human body. For the first time, machines are not just reacting to illness, they are learning to see it before it even fully forms. Think about this: every heartbeat, every step, every sleep cycle, every tiny change in your breathing or blood sugar is creating data. On its own, it means nothing. But when AI connects all of these invisible signals together, it starts to notice patterns that no human eye could ever catch. It can detect risk factors for heart disease, diabetes, cancer, or neurological disorders long before symptoms appear. That means your body could be sending warning signals right now, and you wouldn't even feel them yet. This is not about replacing doctors, it's about giving them superhuman vision. A doctor might see a normal report, but AI can compare millions of similar cases instantly and highlight subtle changes that suggest something is developing underneath the surface. It learns from global medical data, scans, and patient histories in real time, constantly improving its accuracy. The most powerful part is timing, because in healthcare, time is everything. The earlier a problem is detected, the easier it is to control, reverse, or even prevent completely. Now imagine wearable devices continuously feeding your health data into intelligent systems that quietly monitor your body in the background. No panic, no guesswork, just silent observation of your biological patterns shifting over days, weeks, months, noticing the smallest deviation from your normal baseline, heart rhythm variations, oxygen levels dipping slightly, inflammation markers rising slowly, sleep quality changes that seem minor but together form a hidden warning map that starts to take shape without you realizing it, like a digital shadow reading your future health trajectory before your body ever speaks in symptoms. Health data tracking is becoming the hidden foundation of modern healthcare, where every small detail of your daily life turns into meaningful information that can reveal what is happening inside your body long before you feel it. Every step you take, every hour you sleep, every meal you eat, and even how your heart responds to stress is now measurable through smart devices and digital systems. This constant stream of data is not random noise, it is a living map of your health. When collected over time, it shows patterns that define what is normal for your body and what is slowly shifting away from balance. The power of tracking comes from consistency. One reading does not mean much, but thousands of readings together create a detailed story of your biological behavior. AI systems analyze this story and compare it with global health patterns to find early signs of risk. For example, a slight change in resting heart rate over weeks or a gradual decline in sleep quality or subtle changes in activity levels can point towards stress, fatigue, hormonal imbalance, or deeper health conditions forming silently. This continuous monitoring turns healthcare from occasional checkups into real-time awareness. Instead of waiting for symptoms to appear, your body is being observed in motion, like a live signal that never turns off. It removes guesswork and replaces it with clarity, showing how lifestyle choices directly affect internal health. Over time, this creates a personalized health fingerprint that evolves with you, making prediction more accurate and deeply connected to your individual biology, while building a system that understands your normal state so well that even the smallest deviation becomes a meaningful signal that something inside your body is beginning to change quietly underneath the surface. Wearable technology is becoming one of the most powerful tools in modern health prediction because it keeps the human body under constant, silent observation without interrupting daily life. Devices like smartwatches, fitness bands, and even smart rings are no longer just accessories. They are continuous health monitors collecting real-time data from your body every second. Heart rate, oxygen levels, skin temperature, movement patterns, stress response, and even sleep cycles are being tracked in ways that were never possible before. This creates a live connection between your body and digital intelligence that never stops working. What makes wearables so powerful is not just the data they collect, but the consistency of that data over time. Your body is not judged by a single reading, but by patterns built over days, weeks, and months. AI systems analyze these patterns and start to understand what is normal for you personally. Once your baseline is established, even the smallest deviation becomes meaningful. A slightly elevated resting heart rate, a small drop in oxygen levels during sleep, or unusual movement patterns during the night can all become early indicators of stress, illness, or internal imbalance developing quietly beneath the surface. These devices also connect emotional and physical health in real time. For example, stress is not just a feeling anymore, it becomes measurable through heart rate variability and skin response. This allows AI to detect when your body is under pressure even if your mind has not fully recognized it. Over time, this creates a detailed behavioral health map that reflects both physical condition and emotional state together. The real transformation happens when wearables stop being passive trackers and start becoming predictive systems. Instead of just showing what your body did yesterday, they begin to estimate what might happen next based on continuous trends. This shifts healthcare from observation to anticipation, where potential risks are flagged before they become real problems, and your daily habits are constantly feeding a system that learns, adapts, and refines its understanding of your unique biology in motion across every moment of life without pause or interruption. Pattern recognition in medicine is becoming one of the most powerful breakthroughs in healthcare because it allows artificial intelligence to see connections in human health that are almost impossible for the human brain to process at scale. The human body produces an enormous amount of data every second: heart rhythms, blood pressure changes, hormone fluctuations, immune responses, sleep cycles, breathing variations, and cellular activity. Individually, these signals may seem unrelated or too small to matter, but when they are analyzed together over time, they form complex patterns that reveal what is happening beneath the surface of the body long before symptoms appear. Artificial intelligence excels at finding structure in chaos. It can scan millions of medical records, imaging results, genetic profiles, and real-time health data to identify hidden correlations. For example, it may discover that a specific combination of slight changes in sleep quality, resting heart rate, and glucose levels has been linked to early signs of metabolic disease in thousands of patients worldwide. A human doctor may never connect these subtle details across such a vast dataset, but AI can detect them instantly and continuously improve its accuracy as more data is added. What makes this especially powerful is that pattern recognition is not limited to one disease or one organ system. It works across the entire body simultaneously. AI can analyze cardiovascular signals, neurological activity, and metabolic behavior together to build a complete picture of a person's internal health state. It understands how one system affects another, how stress impacts immunity, how sleep influences hormone balance, and how small disruptions in one area can cascade into larger health issues over time. This ability transforms healthcare from reactive diagnosis into predictive insight. Instead of waiting for a condition to become visible or painful, AI begins to highlight early warning patterns that suggest risk is forming. It can detect the earliest stages of chronic diseases, mental health changes, or even sudden medical events by recognizing patterns that repeat across thousands of similar cases globally. As more data flows into these systems, the patterns become sharper, more personalized, and more accurate for each individual. The technology is essentially learning the hidden language of the human body, translating subtle biological signals into meaningful predictions that can guide prevention strategies, lifestyle adjustments, and early interventions before the body reaches a critical point of imbalance that would normally go unnoticed until it is too late. Wearable technology is becoming one of the most powerful tools in modern health prediction because it keeps the human body under constant, silent observation without interrupting daily life. Devices like smartwatches, fitness bands, and even smart rings are no longer just accessories. They are continuous health monitors collecting real-time data from your body every second. Heart rate, oxygen levels, skin temperature, movement patterns, stress response, and even sleep cycles are being tracked in ways that were never possible before. This creates a live connection between your body and digital intelligence that never stops working. What makes wearables so powerful is not just the data they collect, but the consistency of that data over time. Your body is not judged by a single reading, but by patterns built over days, weeks, and months. AI systems analyze these patterns and start to understand what is normal for you personally. Once your baseline is established, even the smallest deviation becomes meaningful. A slightly elevated resting heart rate, a small drop in oxygen levels during sleep, or unusual movement patterns during the night can all become early indicators of stress, illness, or internal imbalance developing quietly beneath the surface. These devices also connect emotional and physical health in real time. For example, stress is not just a feeling anymore, it becomes measurable through heart rate variability and skin response. This allows AI to detect when your body is under pressure even if your mind has not fully recognized it. Over time, this creates a detailed behavioral health map that reflects both physical condition and emotional state together. The real transformation happens when wearables stop being passive trackers and start becoming predictive systems. Instead of just showing what your body did yesterday, they begin to estimate what might happen next based on continuous trends. This shifts healthcare from observation to anticipation, where potential risks are flagged before they become real problems, and your daily habits are constantly feeding a system that learns, adapts, and refines its understanding of your unique biology in motion across every moment of life without pause or interruption. The deeper layer of this technology comes when wearable data is combined with artificial intelligence systems that can compare your patterns with millions of other anonymized users across the world. This global comparison allows the system to understand not just what is normal for you, but what is normal for human biology in general. When your personal data begins to drift away from both your own baseline and global patterns, the system can highlight subtle anomalies that may signal early disease development, long before traditional medical tests would detect anything. This also changes how people interact with their own health on a daily level. Instead of reacting to symptoms, individuals begin to adjust their behavior based on real-time feedback loops. Sleep becomes more intentional because the system shows how poor rest affects heart stability. Food choices become more conscious because glucose spikes and energy crashes are tracked instantly. Stress management becomes more practical because the body's response to emotional pressure is visible in measurable data patterns. Over time, this creates a continuous cycle of awareness where the human body is no longer a mystery that reveals itself only during illness, but a constantly monitored system that communicates its condition through data streams. This level of insight allows prevention to become the central focus of healthcare, where intervention happens at the earliest possible stage, not after damage has already progressed silently for months or years underneath unnoticed biological shifts that only advanced pattern recognition systems are capable of detecting in real time. The future of diagnosis through artificial intelligence is shifting healthcare from a system that reacts to illness into one that anticipates it with remarkable precision, and this transformation is changing the entire foundation of how human health is understood and managed. Traditionally, diagnosis has relied on visible symptoms, medical tests, and a patient's description of how they feel, but by the time symptoms appear, many conditions are already well developed inside the body. AI introduces a completely different approach by continuously analyzing biological signals, lifestyle data, and historical health records to identify risks long before the first noticeable sign emerges. At the core of this transformation is the ability of AI to process massive amounts of information simultaneously. It can analyze heart rhythms, blood chemistry trends, genetic predispositions, sleep behavior, activity levels, stress indicators, and environmental factors all at once, something that no human system can do in real time. By combining these data points, AI builds a constantly evolving model of a person's health profile, learning what is normal for them and what represents a subtle shift away from balance. This model becomes increasingly accurate over time because it does not rely on isolated measurements but on continuous monitoring and comparison. A small change in blood oxygen levels might not mean much on its own, but when combined with slight variations in sleep quality, increased resting heart rate, and reduced physical activity, AI can identify a pattern that suggests early respiratory or cardiovascular stress developing in the background. What makes this approach revolutionary is the predictive layer that sits on top of pattern recognition. Instead of simply identifying what is happening now, AI begins to forecast what is likely to happen next based on long-term trends. It can estimate the probability of disease development, identify high-risk periods, and suggest preventive actions before the condition becomes clinically visible. This also introduces a shift in how doctors work with technology. Physicians are no longer solely responsible for detecting disease manually, but are supported by systems that highlight early warnings and risk scores. This allows medical professionals to focus more on decision-making and personalized care rather than spending time trying to detect subtle early-stage conditions that may be invisible through standard tests. Another important aspect of AI-driven diagnosis is its ability to learn from global health data. Millions of anonymized patient records from around the world contribute to training models that understand how diseases progress across different populations, lifestyles, and genetic backgrounds. This global intelligence allows the system to recognize rare patterns and emerging health trends much earlier than traditional research methods. As this technology continues to evolve, diagnosis becomes less about reacting to illness and more about maintaining long-term stability of the human body. The idea of waiting for symptoms begins to fade, replaced by a system where early biological changes are detected and addressed at a stage where they are still reversible or manageable without major medical intervention. This continuous predictive capability also creates a new relationship between humans and their own biology. Health is no longer something checked occasionally during doctor visits, but something monitored in real time, where subtle shifts in internal balance are constantly interpreted by intelligent systems that understand the language of the body in detail. Over time, this leads to a healthcare environment where diseases are no longer discovered at advanced stages, but are identified in their earliest formation phase, where intervention is simpler, recovery is faster, and long-term outcomes are significantly improved, while the entire concept of diagnosis evolves into a proactive system of prediction and prevention that operates silently in the background of everyday life without interruption or delay.